Was it? Save them. Anybody ever hit it right out of here?
Get it out of here?
Yeah, like
all the way
right
out of here?
Yeah. That's a long way.
But now this stadium was remodeled in '73. Before it was remodeled, I don't think it was as high and deep, but Mickey Mantle hit a ball that hit like the top of the facade in the third deck, which I find it hard to believe it was farther than that, but it might have been. They said he hit one that it would have gone out if that, sort of like that white part up there, you know, that white part? He hit it like against that thing up in the third deck.
Roy Hobbs hit one out the other night.
Yeah, he did.
Roy Hobbs.
He can hit, man. He can hit.
What was that?
What was that?
Roy Hobbs was the natural. Chris King, well, let's just say he's the king and leave it at that. Anyway, the boys got a little more adventurous until somebody felt it was time to rain on their parade and put an end to one left wing's baseball fantasy.
Hey guys, I gotta ask you to put the bat down. Sorry. No problem.
You're in trouble now.
You guys got us in trouble.
But over in the Red Sox dugout, Canadian-born Mike Gardner wanted to touch base.
So where are you from?
Sarnia, Ontario.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah, right from that area. I don't know if you know Paul Eisbert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Red Wings.
Sean Burr, too.
Yeah, Burr's from, I know all those guys.
Yeah,
in fact, I played with Eisbert when we were in a smaller community.
Well, he's done well for him, so unbelievable.
Patience and just hung in there.
So what do you do in the off season? Do you live down
I live
down
in Boston.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I stayed in Boston basically because I like hockey.
Is that right?
I didn't miss a home game from November till January.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was great. They start playing well too then.
Yeah.
I'm just a fan of the game. I don't particularly like any one team.
Right.
But,
There's no better place to watch it than in there. That's
nice and close. And
well, you should come see us play the Islanders one night in New York.
Yeah.
After making sure that everybody came away with some autographed souvenirs, the Ranger trio would next head upstairs. Game time was drawing near, and there was one thing on their mind: food.
Yes. So we're going here?
You're right in here?
Yes.
Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack, and then some. Nobody came away hungry from this expedition.
How you doing, Ricky? We need 3 sweet Italian sausages, please.
Summertime.
3 of them.
8 dogs?
Hot dog. You guys want fries, too?
How many hot dogs did you get?
I got one and 3. 4 fries. I don't know. I think you get bigger hot dogs at the Garden. There you go. 41.25. Okay, we're going to chip next time.
Chris had it all figured out, baby, right to the T.
That's 41.25 American. And being the good old USA, some Yankee ingenuity was about to come in handy.
Well, how else am I supposed to get it out?
A meal fit for the babe himself. Now time to slip back into the house that Ruth built.
Okay, let's go.
Time to see how the Yankees and Red Sox were doing on a chilly April night. Whatever the weather, being at the ballpark still had its advantages.
Who has more fun than us?
Well, that's a tough question to answer, but one thing's for sure, these guys didn't let up for a minute. Just ask the camera crew. It was an enjoyable night at the ballpark, but despite the fun, the 3 Rangers still had something on their minds, and that was a little closer to home and a lot more serious.
I'd rather be at a hockey game. That's it, yeah.
Paul Broughton's wish, and the wish of all hockey fans, would be answered in almost miraculous fashion late the next night. The NHL and its Players Association finally settled on a collective bargaining agreement. The season would resume, and the playoffs would take place in full. The strike was over, and a new era for hockey was in place. President John Ziegler spoke to the future.
And I tried lawsuits for 20 years and had some real scraps with lawyers in the courtroom. And these fellows go out on the ice and they have some real bang-ups with their opposing players. But after it's all said and done, you've done your job, and then you go shake hands and you can be friends. I've always lived like that, and I don't see any difference here.
The NHL was back in business. For millions of fans across North America, a happy time. Now it's time for the Alka-Seltzer Plus Award Update. When you got a cold and you gotta get relief, you gotta get Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine. Hockey's back in action, and so is Paul Eisbert, the man who's been a big plus for the Detroit Red Wings all year long.
Cross ice for Eisbert. He scored! What a play!
As the season heads to conclusion in its final week, Paul Eisebart leads a flock of wings to the Alka-Seltzer.
We welcome one and all to the Olympic Saddledome in this important battle for fourth place in the Smythe division between the Flames and the Winnipeg Jets. It's do or die for the host team in Calgary as they try to catch the Jets for the final playoff spot. Now, we all know that the playoffs begin next Saturday night, but I can guarantee you it's a playoff atmosphere here tonight.
As the games resumed across the NHL, a focus was upon John Paddock's fourth-place Winnipeg Jets, who needed a victory to eliminate Guy Chiron's Calgary Flames. Early on, the Jets made it look easy.
Neuendijk tries to center it. It's intercepted by Brock. Long shot, he scores! From just across the center line, the long shot by Aaron Brock got past Jeff Reese. Watch this puck skip as it bounces, I believe, right in front of the crease. Broughton just lets the puck go.
Calgary's fragile confidence was damaged as Winnipeg took a 2-0 lead. Later, Ed Olczyk showed no mercy as he tallied once in the second period and then added a crusher in the third.
Chuck, Broughton and Olczyk have scored for Winnipeg. Here's a chance for Olczyk, a breakaway. Olczyk winds up, scores! And that might just be the death blow for the Calgary Flames and the playoff aspirations of Guy Chiron. It's 4-0 Winnipeg.
Nearly doused, the Flames fought back. A goal from Sergei Makarov and 2 from Gary Roberts made it close. But Winnipeg came away with the playoff spot, and for the first time in 17 years, the Flames were without a postseason.
Well, there's no doubt it's been a frustrating year for everybody involved. That just haven't been able to get the ball rolling enough to put ourselves in a comfortable situation. We played pressure hockey all year and just didn't come up with the results.
I don't think it was any easier for anybody. I think it was a matter that we really wanted this game, and you know, it's a tribute to the guys that came out and played a phenomenal game, and it's just the fact that we wanted the game more, I think.
In Edmonton, the Oilers wanted a victory over the San Jose Sharks as they returned to action. The third-place Oilers trailed the Los Angeles Kings by 2 points, and a victory over the Sharks could help Edmonton overtake L.A. and gain home ice advantage. The Sharks were game, but Edmonton won 6-4.
We played well in the first period, really got us going, got a lot of shot on net, and the puck seemed to follow us everywhere. We had a lot of plays to make and a lot of room in their end, so we took advantage of that.
Meanwhile, Tom Webster's Kings took advantage of a rejuvenated Wayne Gretzky, who had 4 assists on Los Angeles' first 4 goals against Vancouver.
Pass to Sandstrom, back to Granato. Granato to Gretzky. Gretzky pass, right side, cutting in, shot, scored by Rob Blake. Rob Blake came down the right side, got a perfect pass, and the Kings lead 4-0.
Wayne Gretzky didn't miss a beat, and neither did Luc Robitaille, as the Kings ruled the first game back from beginning to end.
Well, something might happen here. 2-on-1, Robitaille, right side to Granato. He shoots, score, tipped in. Gamble made the save, and then Robitaille skated by and tipped it in, and the Kings lead 6-1.
Robitaille notched goals number 43 and 44 as the Canucks took their lumps. The Kings, for their part, held the Oilers at bay with 2 crucial points.
You know, it's so important for us to get home ice. I mean, home ice in the Stanley Cup playoffs is 1 game, and you get that Game 7, and, you know, everybody says, well, it doesn't matter where you play, but if you get a chance to play it at home, it's much better.
2 nights later, John Candy helped welcome back hockey to the Forum as the Kings and Canucks went at it again.
Canucks into the King zone. On the left wing side, Adams checked there. Puck comes in front to Bourret. Shoots and a save. Rebound score. Rudy made the save. He's claiming it got kicked in, but Pavel Bourret was right in front with some moves, and Vancouver leads 2-0. He put his legs together.
Bourret's 33rd goal of the year counted as the Canucks went on to edge the Kings 3-2. But at the same time, Edmonton was in the process of losing to Winnipeg. Thus, the Kings finished in second place with home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs to come. Now it's time for the Power Stick Power Play. The ref gives the Devil his due, and that makes Pittsburgh blue. Stay tuned. Regain his touch. Stastny scores his first goal since February 9th with a quick shot from the slot.
Kasatonov got it over to Lemieux to Stastny. Scores!
The Devils and Peter Stastny finding the power. The New Jersey Devils were back to work, hoping to bounce back from the 10-day strike and a month of March in which they won only 4 times in 10 games. A key to recovery, goaltender Chris Terreri.
Held in, Priested, taken down by Chorsky. Driver on the boards, couldn't pin it up. Johansson shot, what a save! In the middle, Ridley drops it off, Cicerelli in alone. Save Terreri, and it's underneath him.
Terreri had suffered a back injury before the strike and hadn't played since March 21st. He was sharp, although some guys, like Tom Chorsky, might still desire a little fine-tuning.
Wanderers got Cote cutting, intercepted by Randy McKay. Tom Chorsky as he got time. Watch the clock, time of the period. Chorsky, saved by Rimnack. It would have counted.
But Washington capitalized on its opportunities as the game wore on. Eventually, it would be settled in overtime, with the second-place overall Capitals adding to what has become their best season in 6 years, as they raised their point total to 97 with the winning goal.
Giroux, Pavanka looking, centered shot, score! Peter Bondrow, and the Capitals win in overtime 4-3.
With the loss, the Devils passed up an opportunity to break their third-place tie with the Pittsburgh Penguins. The very next day, the Penguins were at the Meadowlands to play their first game since the resumption of the season. The Pens had been on an 11-3-1 tear before the strike, but it remained to be seen how the 10-day layoff would affect their legs.
Well, we skated the one day until they gave the notice that nobody was allowed to skate anymore, so we really only had one day of skating during the whole strike. Mostly just rode the bike and did some weights and stuff and just did what you kid, try to stay active, walk the malls a few times and just try to keep busy. You know, at this time of the year, this late in the season, yeah, it doesn't take long to get your legs back, so a couple of days, good hard practice, we'll be all right.
The Devils, meanwhile, still had some kinks to work out. Happy to be healthy again and eager to move past the previous night's overtime loss.
It's very important that we stay upbeat and stay positive because this is the time of year when you want to be in a good position, a good frame of mind, and we can't get down about yesterday's loss. We just got to take the next 2 games and build on good things.
The 2 teams came out hitting in a style befitting divisional rivals. But as the evening progressed, it was the Penguins who came away with the quizzical looks because the Devils' skates were just a little sharper.
Seamark stripped it. Xander Seamark moves in, made the move, centered, shot, score! Stephane Richer! Caulfield after it. Caulfield knocked down. Zalapukin picks it up. Zalapukin in. Zalapukin the shot, score!
Jersey was en route to a 5-1 victory. Good news for Tom McVie, as was the goaltending of Chris Terreri, which was big when it had to be.
Taken by Stanton. Here's a 3-on-1. Drops off to Lemieux. Lemieux over Stevens. Save Terreri! Stevens playing it in the corner. Danico centered. Shot, save, rebound, kick wide, pocket, shot, save, and did not go in.
With the victory, New Jersey moved into third place with a 2-point lead over Pittsburgh. More importantly, an attempt to gain a little positive momentum before the playoffs, no matter who the opposition might be. Now the Prudential presents rock-solid effort. In a changing world, one thing remains rock-solid, the Prudential. A big hand is in order for Glenn Healy of the New York Islanders. On February 27th, Healy suffered a severed finger and was sidelined ever since. But in New York's first game after the strike, Healy returned and earned first-star honors in the Islanders' 6-2 victory over Toronto. Glenn Healy, rock-solid. The Toronto Maple Leafs, back at it with a slim chance to make the playoffs. The Leafs were hoping their hiatus would serve them well.
Anytime you're away from the game and arena for 10 days, you know, you come back refreshed and certainly well rested. And we know we can still catch them, you know. It's almost like there's a new excitement back in the room here.
We hadn't really finished. We didn't really know that the season was over. And so as a coach, I'm kind of happy that we're going to get a chance to sort of do it, to finish it and let the chips fall where they may.
It was good to have hockey back at the Gardens. High above the ice, Bob Goodnow and Bill Torrey may have been discussing hockey's new partnership, while in the stands, other partnerships were also being planned for. With 3 games remaining, the Maple Leafs had to tighten up right away. Any loss by Toronto or any victory by Minnesota would eliminate the 5th-place Leafs. The early returns were not good. The Islanders scored 5 of the game's first 6 goals as line mates Pierre Turgeon and Derek King each reached the 40-goal mark.
Now to King. King slipped it through. Turgeon with a shot. He scores! Turgeon is 40th goal of the season. Sets up King, hit the post and scores! That's number 40 for Derek King and a 5-1 lead for the Islanders.
Toronto's disappointment most keenly felt by goaltender Grant Fuhr, who just wasn't sharp in the first game back. Leaf hopes died hard, but really were doomed anyway.
Toronto is eliminated from postseason possibilities.
6-2 the final from Toronto.
So the North Stars are in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And the North Stars will try and make another Cinderella march to the finals.
The North Stars went on to tie the Blues. Meanwhile, the Leafs had to face their own Blues, knowing it was all too little, too late.
I don't think there was a lack of effort tonight. I think we all gave all we could. We just couldn't put the puck in the net. And when you get 39 shots in a game, you should put the puck in the net a couple times more than we did.
The Norris Division standings were set. 4th place to Minnesota. 3rd place to the St. Louis Blues, hoping for a brighter day. First in the division, the Detroit Red Wings, who had an outstanding year. And runners-up, the Chicago Blackhawks, aiming at postseason glory. In their final game of the season, the Detroit Red Wings faced the Minnesota North Stars in a preview of first-round action. It certainly looked like special teams and Steve Yzerman will be very important.
Out to the line now. Broughton had it tipped away. Here's Yzerman. He's got a clear breakaway on Wakalot. He scores! 2 short-handed goals on the same power play for the North Stars. Mickey, this is something interesting. The Red Wings now are tied for the league lead in short-handed goals, and Minnesota has given up more by far than any other team in the National Hockey League.
With a 7-4 victory, the Wings clinched home ice advantage throughout the conference playoff. On the same night, the Blackhawks and Blues put on a playoff preview of their own in St. Louis. Brett Hull scored his 69th of the year, but the game breaker was rookie Nelson Emerson, who delivered one of the most creative goals of the season.
And the Blues finally come away. Emerson racing in. Gutierrez got to him. Emerson over around the... Score! Nelson Emerson! The Blues in front for the first time tonight at 4-3.
Seems every time the Blackhawks put the pressure on the Blues, they seem to come back and counter.
Blues 5, Hawks 3. Hard fought, but just a taste of what lies ahead for them and everyone else. Take a playoff shot with us next time on Power Stick.
Right at the Minnesota bench. No penalty was indicated on now from Splat to Klatt, who comes to center and flips it in. Nobody's going to pick this up while play's on, I'll guarantee you that. Probert shoots it in. Casey blocking it nicely, giving it off to Trent Klatt. Long pass and a good one to Duchesne. Duchesne to Gagne. Gagne lost his balance but kept the puck in the corner. Klatt bounced off Yzerman, but Yzerman picked up the puck. Steve Yzerman to Probert. Probert a long pass. Shepard overskated it, now turns. Ray Shepard winds up and shoots one. Oh, that came close with Yzerman right off the edge of the crease. North Stars shoot the puck in. Shovelday